Good morning. Welcome to Reading the Science of Mind in 1 Year. I'm Reverend Rafe Ellis, Senior Minister and Spiritual Leader of the Center for Spiritual Living Common Ground in Central Maryland. Today is August 12th. Okay, got a message there. Okay. Um, let's get started with our reading and see where it takes us. Here we go. Reading for August 12th, Science of Mind, A Philosophy, a Faith, a Way of Life by Ernest Holmes. Reading from page 251, paragraph 3, through page 252, paragraph 1, using inclusive language.
Obstetrics. In a treatment for childbirth, we realize that the great law of creation is operative. We know that no idea of creator ever comes too soon or too late, but always at the correct time. We know that right action prevails. If you are working for yourself, realize that your part is merely to accept fully the fact that creative law within you knows, and not only knows, but performs every right action at the right time, that it synchronizes all impulses toward the event. It is its nature to do so. It could not do otherwise. Let your mind dwell on the wonder of this knowing intelligence, which works out the scheme of a new body, imbuing it with its own laws of health and action, setting up the perfect working of the various systems of the body, the breathing, the circulation, the elimination, and so on. Realize that perfection is at work, forming and projecting into the objective world that upon which its action has been centered, that there can be no obstruction to right action on any plane of expression. Your meditation at the moment might be, I am unified with universal law, creating, delivering, perfecting. I rest in mind, rejoicing that I have only to accept the perfect result of this natural law. I give myself completely to this perfect law and am at peace. I am serene because I know that I am in the care of perfection in action.
So, this whole section that we're in is obviously about physical matters. The title of it, in fact, this section is Physical Perfection. Um, and I think it's the most challenging thing that we seem to, at least it seems to me, to be. Um, because we have so much medical technology, it's easy to defer to the medical realm. It's impossible, absolutely impossible, to talk about the physical aspect of us without being in condition. And so we hit a rub, right? Insides of mind turn away from condition. And yet, to deal with our physical being requires us, at least to some degree, to be focused on condition, even if it's only to recognize the condition that we want shifted, that we want to participate in shifting. Um, Many of us are way beyond childbirthing years. And that doesn't change the value of this. Um, because whether it's birthing something in our physical being or birthing something in a job or in school or in relationships or life in general, um, what I have found is that the birth process is very similar. That there is a process of conception, there is a process of growth, of gestation, and there is a process of labor and delivery. And then there is the process of accepting what is being birthed that might be birthing differently than I imagined at the time of conception, differently than I have imagined during the time of gestation, right? And so I really love um, this last paragraph. Your meditation at the moment might be, doesn't say it has to be, but it's an offering, right? I am unified with universal law, creating, delivering, perfecting. And if all we did was affirm that every day, would things change? I rest in mind, rejoicing that I have only to accept the perfect results of this natural law. I give myself completely to this perfect law. I am at peace. Wow. Right? Um, I am serene because I know that I am in the care of perfection in action. And I would add to that, and I am perfection in action, right? Because what we're in the care of, we are. There's only one thing here. And so for me, I try to apply all of these things to the physical and to my life in general to make it practical application. And, if you have ideas of how to do that, I would love to hear them. I live in this beautiful, insatiable curiosity, and I'm always open to hearing your thoughts and your experience uh, so that I can learn from you. That's part of this conception and gestation and birthing process, right? In the physical realm, it takes two, and in this spiritual realm, it takes us all. And so, with that, I'm going to take us into our time of meditation and contemplation. one power, everywhere present, one love that is the activity that I call creation. This one substance expressing itself in multiplicity for the joy of expression, expanding its experience of itself. Infinite possibility. And so it never runs out of options to express. Being the singular substance and source, there's nowhere for it to separate to. All is it, manifesting in the multiplicity of diverse, brilliant, perfect forms. Continuously conceiving, continuously in gestation, continuously birthing newness, expansion. Whether I call it God, the great mystery, Buddha, Allah, makes no difference. Life, love, peace, power, presence, all the same substance. So I know that in its unlimited beingness, in its ever-presentness, in its singularity of substance, that I must be that in form. Created out of it, by it, to be it, individualized as me. Never to be like someone else or something else, but to discover through that mental birthing process who I am. To discover that perfect spiritual body that is the essence of me. To allow myself to conceive that perfect image beyond the physical of me. That perfect spiritual image of me, truth of me, blueprint of me, and to live into that expression, to birth that, to live beyond the limitation of condition into a greater expression of the unconditioned in form. This is the opportunity. This is the fertility of my being. And what is true of me is true of every form of creation. And so as I speak my word, I recognize that my word is simply language that recognizes it is a desire of this infinite beingness moving itself into expression. placing the work order into production. And so I affirm a living, breathing awareness within every form of creation, a living, breathing awareness of the substance of being, a practicing the presence more than practicing being present, a practice of the presence, a living the perfection of being out loud in a palpable, tangible way. To discover the self within the self. And to recognize that that same substance is operating in every expression of life beyond behaviors, beyond any ideology, beyond any apparent separation of ideas and behavior and impulses. At the core is the perfection of being. So I choose to see that truth, no longer willing to be fooled by behavior, no longer willing to allow the behavior of another to change my behavior. I move quickly and effortlessly through the birthing process to return over and over again to the perfection of being. To see, to uplift that divine spark within every expression of creation that thrives and grows on recognition. I say yes to birthing more life, more peace, more presence of the infinite. Yes. And knowing that the word spoken is the word fulfilled, I celebrate. I celebrate that this perfect process of creation has already conceived, is already gestating, is already birthing, that the process is continuous. So the word spoken this morning is already fulfilled. And so it is from that place of certainty that I move into the activity of this day in this human realm with absolute expectancy. The expectancy of the delivery. The expectancy that I will notice what is already done. That I will experience the birth of the word spoken. Simply by saying yes. I'm open. I receive. I participate. And so to be fully present, I let go. I release my word, which means I release anything and everything that would in any way impede my experience of its fulfillment. The word is already fulfilled. And so now I release any doubt, any fear, any hesitancy. I release all thought and belief, conscious and unconscious, that would in any way stall or negate or neutralize the desire of creation to express, completely freeing the word to manifest. I receive it now. Ashe. Shalom. Aho. Amen. Amen. And so it is. Namaste.